Hello folks, how are you doing? Welcome to the vlog. And in today's episode, I thought I would do a Q&A. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a Q&A. I'm going to read some of them out and answer as best I can. First question is from Storybook Apothecary. How long have you and your wife been married and how did you meet? What's your favourite part about being Scottish and what inspired you to start vlogging? That is quite a few questions in one. How long have I and my wife been married? We've been married for 8 years? 7 years? 7 years. We met because we had a friend in common. I was out here in Brazil, and then when I went back to London, one of my friends in Brazil had this friend that was going to London to stay for a while, and it turned out to be Tekka, and we met basically through this mutual friend in London. That is a very short, condensed version of the story. It's kind of crazy, but I will get into that one day. My favourite part about being Scottish, that is also a very big question. My favourite part about being Scottish is we are very passionate. No matter if things are difficult for us, we will give it everything to support our cause because we're so passionate. We always root for the little guy, always. We are loyal to the core, and generally we're just nice people in Scotland. I think those are my favourite things about being Scottish. What inspired me to start vlogging? Well, probably 2 or 3 things. First of all, I was travelling at the time and I thought doing a daily video would be a good way to get my family to kind of know what I was up to. And secondly, I was at the time, this was over 3 years ago now, I was watching 2 or 3 great vloggers, people like Casey Neistat, Ben Brown, Fun for Louie. Those are the types of vloggers I was watching at the time, and I liked what they were doing, and I thought, listen, I can do that. I'm traveling, I've got a story to tell. Mrs. C says, why do you think you were never taught about Culloden in school? I don't actually know the answer to that. I can take a few guesses, one of which being that we lived in the lowland, Edinburgh, Glasgow, big main cities, and we had other history to cover in our history classes in school. To be honest, I just don't actually know the answer. I don't know why we weren't taught. There could be a political element there. Who knows? Michelangelo says, what is the most amazing place you have ever been? Listen, I've been to a lot of amazing places in the world and I take beauty from everywhere that I go. It's difficult to say the single most amazing place that I've ever been. Brazil's amazing, Scotland's amazing, the United States is amazing, but I think the most amazing place that I've ever been as a tourist is Iceland. Iceland is off the charts. Check out my series of vlogs from Iceland because it was such an incredible, amazing place. Adam Gordon says, where do you see your vlogs going in future? Listen, I don't really know. I'm kind of trying to work that out as I go along. Like, I love vlogging, I love doing my daily vlogs, I love traveling, I love sitting down and talking to camera sometimes. I think just more of the same, but more. Maybe doing some more comedy and stuff as well, adding that into it, because I think YouTube is a place that most people like to come to kind of escape from everyday stuff, right? So I would love to be better every day, make you guys smile and show you more of the stuff that excites me, show you my country, show you different beautiful places in the world, and generally just to inspire others. If I can keep doing that better in a better way, then that is the goal for me ultimately. Andrea Lopez says, what is your favorite food? I have lots of different favorite foods. Chinese food is incredible. It's probably my all-time favorite food. I love Chinese food, but now since getting to know Brazil better, I love Brazilian food as well. Feijoada is sensational, and here in Vitoria specifically, they do an amazing fish stew called moqueca capixaba, and I absolutely love it. Definitely one of my favorite foods in the world. Thomas Jin says, if you had to choose one dish that's not haggis, what would you say is a truly Scottish dish? I would say Cullen skink. Cullen skink is a soup from the northeast of Scotland. It's a very, very good fishy soup. I like it a lot. That is a good Scottish dish. Laurie says, what is the one thing to avoid saying or doing when you visit Scotland? Listen, we're not easily offended in Scotland. We've got quite thick skin. You can basically come to Scotland and do and say what you want and we'll just find it funny. I guess there is one thing that people from abroad, especially North America, say that does wind us up. The one thing, and that is when people come to Scotland and call us Scotch. We are absolutely not Scotch. We are anything but Scotch. We can be Scots, Scottish, but never Scotch. Scotch is basically only a whiskey or a pie. Maya Zoe says, if I could travel through stones like Outlander, would I, and where would I go? That is a really interesting question. To be honest with you, I probably wouldn't because I really like where I am in this point in the world. I love the way that we are progressing with communications and technology. I would be absolutely lost without the technology that we have today. It's not perfect, but I love the times that we're living through. I think they're very interesting, and I probably would not like to travel back in time at the risk of never coming back again. Fitzgibbons says in Portuguese, do you watch any films or listen to any music that is from Brazil? Yes, actually, I really liked the film series Tropa de Elite, the elite force police squad that went into Rio's favelas, because it kind of showed you a lot of different sides to the favelas. Like, it is the upper class wealthy people as well as the police that are corrupt that cause a lot of the problems there. So that was very interesting. Music, I love old Brazilian music. Tim Maia, for example. That legendary singer, I really love that guy and what he did. Old samba, Cartolo. Sertanejo I'm not a big fan of, although I do like kind of urban music scenes in Brazil. Robin O'Neill has a really great question. Where would you think of living other than Scotland and Brazil? I've actually thought about this a lot and we're thinking about it for this year. Is there anywhere else we would like to live? I would love to live in New York City. I've said this on the vlogs before. I think it's a really fascinating place where a lot would happen really quick. I would love to live in New York. Unfortunately, I can't see it happening unless I start earning a lot of money through social media or whatever, because it's such an expensive place and getting a visa is also a problem. So New York, America is kind of off the list, but it's a great shame because I'd love to live there. We've also considered living in Portugal because we love Portugal. It's kind of halfway house for us, me being European and Tekka being Brazilian. But the one place I would definitely love to live is New York. A substitute for that might be London. London is a city I have actually lived for 4 or 5 years before, and I really like the city, so that is another possibility. Caroline has a really fascinating cultural question about Brazil. Obviously a lot of people follow me on Twitter and notice that I talk Portuguese a lot with Brazilians, and she asks, why do Brazilians type KKK, KKKKK, KKK? What does it mean? Now this is something that is absolutely fascinating because Brazilians do this quite a lot. They will type at the end of something they're writing in Portuguese, KKK, or KKKKK, or KKKKK.
2 hours later.
KKKKK. In North America, in Europe, in the UK, we know the KKK to be a very vile, disgusting organisation, a racist, hate-filled group of people that we really wish never ever existed. So whenever I see that, like a natural instinct is to freak out. But the way Brazilians use it is obviously way different from that. It's not even related in the slightest bit. For them, it is the same as us writing in English, LOL, laugh out loud. KKK is a phonetical way that they type like laughter, like KKK, I think it is. So when you see Brazilians write KKKKKKKK, it's basically just laughter. Laugh out loud that we put in English. So there's a wee bit of a cultural interest and insight for you. Paulina says, I'd love to know how you became a YouTuber. First question. How I became a YouTuber? I was traveling at the time, I think I mentioned this earlier, I was traveling at the time here in Brazil and I wanted to let my friends and family back in the UK know what I was up to, and I thought video was a great way to do that. I also loved other vloggers at the time and I thought I could be one of them. So that was it. I was kind of inspired by other vloggers and also wanted to tell my story at the same time. So that's how I became a vlogger. The second part to Paulina's question. Also, if you were ever to meet Sam from Outlander, what would you ask them? I would probably just show my appreciation to both of them for being tremendous actors and express my gratitude for them for being such great ambassadors for Scotland. Like, they have been tremendous. Their acting is sensational, brilliant, and they've just shown off Scotland so well and have brought a lot of people into Scotland. And I'd also like to take a selfie. Mark Corley says, Hearts or Hibs? For anybody who doesn't know, in Edinburgh, my city, we have 2 main football teams, Hearts and Hibs, right? Maroon on one side and green on the other. I was born very close to the Heart of Midlothian Football Club Stadium, that neighbourhood. I'm a Hearts supporter. I always have been and always will be. Elizabeth Cook Jewett Richards asks, are Scots really superstitious? Yes, Scottish people are tremendously superstitious. We love telling stories and we love hearing stories. So in fact, we've got loads of stories. Even my city, Edinburgh, we love to tell a story, right? Edinburgh is full of stories, ghost stories, and we love to believe in them. We love to go after them. And yes, we're just very superstitious in general. We kind of believe in lots of tales that are far-fetched. I mean, think about this. The Scottish national animal is a unicorn. I would love to do a deeper insight into that. But basically, yeah, we are very superstitious and we love telling and learning about stories, part of our DNA and culture and our history. Sharmila Hussain says, what does being Scottish mean to you? Which clan do you come from and how has Outlander affected you? I think I can only answer the first part of that. Which clan do I come from? I can't answer that whatsoever. Most Scottish people, and this will disappoint a few of you guys, don't know anything about their clan ancestry, and I am one of them. I have no idea. Not the foggiest idea. The first part of that question is, what does being Scottish mean to you? I think I touched on this earlier, but I just love the fact that we are very passionate about Scotland, passionate about sharing Scotland with the world, passionate about helping others, passionate about telling stories. We are loyal, fiercely loyal. We will fight for what we believe in, and we will always stick up for the small guy. I've said that twice already tonight, but I need to reiterate, that is what it means to be Scottish. Jacqueline Fisher Parks. This is a really good question, and something I touched on earlier as well in another question. What is the best way possible to pay proper respect to Scottish people while visiting Scotland? I've seen several news reports on the impasse hitting Scotland and her people with the influx of tourism, but I don't think Scottish people have any bones to pick at all with tourists. Yes, Edinburgh has become a bit of a circus in terms of tourism. I personally think that is wonderful and great, and we should embrace that and do everything to make sure that circus continues and gets bigger. We need to invest in it, and we need to make sure people come to Scotland and have a great time. I don't think it should just be kept for locals. Like, I'm not one of those people. I think Scotland should be developing its tourism industry. I've went to so many places around the world where tourism is handled much better than we handle it in Scotland. I am a big critic, and you might find this surprising, I am a huge big critic of Visit Scotland. I think that organisation is awful. I've said it. There you go. We need to be promoting Scotland as a tourist destination better than we are. Hopefully I'm doing that on these vlogs. You can let me know. But there's very little, as I said before, you can do to come and offend us, to be honest with you. Just do not call us Scotch. And also avoid calling the kilt a skirt. I should mention that as well. Kilts are not skirts. But I think we have had such an influx of tourists this year, the past year, 2017 specifically, that some of the Highland routes, which are very remote and the roads and infrastructure is not very good, have taken a battering. I have read about that, and some local communities have complained that people are parking on laybys of the main road where you shouldn't really be doing that. I personally believe that is not the tourist's fault, right? There's others that take a different point of view on this. I do not blame the tourists. As I say, I think we should be developing the tourist industry in Scotland in a better way. Let's develop the infrastructure so it's better and more welcoming and inviting and helpful for tourists to navigate our country. That's my view. I just sometimes am in awe of how badly our tourism has been managed over the last number of years. I think that Scotland, I don't know what it is, there's something that's a bit dinosaur and backwards about whoever runs tourism in Scotland. That's just my opinion, and we should be doing everything helpful to get more people in to enjoy our beautiful, amazing country and our culture, and yeah, that's my point of view. Claire asks a very good question. If I was unexpectedly handed $1 million, what would I do with it? You know, I don't believe I ever want like an easy life. I don't particularly like that. I would use that money to create something, some kind of place that I could work for the betterment of humanity. I don't know. I mean, $1 million doesn't actually get you that far these days. Eileen asked, do I dye my hair brown? No, this is my natural hair colour. It's like a mousy brown, if you like, I think. Is it mousy brown? I have dyed it blonde in the past. And my final question I'm going to answer in today's Q&A, Ask Me Anything, is from Dana. Dana asks, I really need to start a vlog to help promote my business. Any advice for a complete beginner? That is a fantastic question. A lot of people have asked about vlogging. Really, vlogging is just a personal story, a journey, your lifestyle, whatever it is that is unique about you. A vlog is a video blog. It's either on YouTube, or it's on Facebook, or it's on Instagram or Twitter or any other social media platform where things can be shared. And what advice I would give is don't worry about equipment. Equipment is the least important thing you should worry about. Most cell phones can adequately handle any of the film needs that you will have. I would say the biggest tip is to post regularly. That is one thing I've definitely learned. As often as possible, daily if possible, 2 or 3 times a week. Other than that, be yourself, be genuine, and always think about community, about the people who watch and follow you. I am truly grateful for all you guys who watch these vlogs. It means so much to me. If it wasn't for you guys, there would be no vlog. So anybody starting a vlog needs to remember that. And although the vlogs will suck in the beginning, like my first 50 or 100 vlogs were really poorly made, it doesn't matter, like, you learn. The only way I learned to make vlogs is doing them, like filming and editing over and over again, and eventually they get better and better, get more comfortable speaking to a camera. But yeah, that's it from me. Listen, thank you so much for all your questions. I hope that is some interesting answers for you guys. I've had a lot of questions lately and I thought I would get some of them off my chest. Any comments you have down below you'd like me to answer in text, please leave your comments. I will answer them as best I can. That was the first Q&A I've done for a long time on this channel, and it feels good just to get some basic things about me and my life off of my chest. But there's more to come, right?
Epilogue.